What is up, Bucs fans? We are back here on a Monday. It's a Victory Monday. I'm your host, Michael Plus, joined as always my co-host, Mark Ramirez. And it feels good. The Buccaneers defeat a very bad team in the New York Giants, but they win. They won 30-7. They took care of business, and that's what we expect them to do moving forward. So, Mark, how do we feel? How do we feel on just another win? Finally, we get our fifth win of the season.
Yeah, about damn time we've won a game. It's been a
Yep.
long, 5 weeks? 4 weeks and then a bye week, so
Right.
it's been a long time. And you finally beat a team that you should have beat in a convincing fashion. Like this stuff we're going to talk about all the way through. I mean, talent wise, there's plenty of it. It's do they use it correctly? Offensively, they've been doing it nonstop. I mean, I want you to bring up later the statistics Greg Allman put up there about
Yeah.
where our offense ranks and everything, like in every damn category. It's like this dude is either top five or near it in every category. It's insane. I mean, Liam Cohen literally using as much, maximizing the talent that's on the team, especially
Right.
when we just got Mike Evans back, finally getting Bucky Irving the ball a lot more, getting Sean Tucker involved, even though he fumbled at the goal line, right? Yeah. But before that, he was very much involved. So he's using what he has. Yes, Mike Evans opens so much more, and I can't wait to see things develop even more. Again, they're going against a poor defensive team this week as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, we know we got some coaching and players that we can use. Defensively, they were much better. They wrapped up tackled, not many missed tackles, gang tackling, a lot of good things. There was still some stuff, but overall, the pressure was there. Not a good quarterback, but still, like they did what they had to do. Like there were moments you were like, "Oh, here they go. They're gonna give
Mhm.
up points." But Devontae David forced fumble at the goal line, stuff like that, where they just stopped drives. And
Yeah.
just because they're a bad team doesn't mean they're just gonna keel over and lose. They're trying to win too. It's not like teams just fall over and say, "Okay, fine, I'll take the L." So either way, it's a good victory. Back on the winning side of things. Let's see if we can get to 500 next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you touched on it all there. Defensively, I think the biggest thing was, like you said, tackling. They did a very good job of wrapping up. Tackling in space, I thought was big. And you look at the defensive numbers. Christian Izien had a really good game. He had 10 tackles in this one, 5 solo. He's going to have to step up big because there is news on Jordan Whitehead, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But it looks like he's most likely going to be out for the season. I thought Antoine Winfield had a much better game. He actually made plays on the football, which was nice to see. And there's a lot of good things. Mike Edwards came up in his debut and we, just was that middle field enforcer, not enforcer, but he was just in the right spot, taking things away. They used that dime package that we've been looking for. So a lot of good things. Kalijah Cansey Vita Vea continued to play well. And then offensively, I thought it was Baker Mayfield playing very efficient. As you see his numbers there, very good. I mean, I think this might be the first game in a long time he has 0 passing touchdowns. So you gotta, this was all rushing touchdowns today, as you see the numbers there. 156 yards on the ground. Don't usually say that when you relate to Buccaneers offense. Like usually it's usually like this is a higher number, or, 300 or more usually. But not the case this year. Buccaneers are running the football, and they did a good job and getting their playmakers involved. Obviously, Mike Evans returning opens up the offense, and we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, and also just another thing to touch on the defensive side.
Yeah.
I saw Kalijah Cansey being moved around a lot more. It
Yeah.
wasn't just him right up over the center. Like he was
Right.
actually used wide. And the stuff we talked about before the bye week. Like Todd Bowles used to be this creative guy that would just bring guys from different areas of the ball, like and move his pieces around. There wasn't much of that. And this
Yeah.
game you saw a lot more of it. Like you mentioned, Mike Edwards being aggressive at the ball. It wasn't just a catch and a guy could just get some yak yards. No, it was a catch and then he's getting hit. Or they're making a play at the ball. Like you said, when the Antoine Winfield. Like he was either missing assignments prior and you were kind of giving the thing, oh, maybe he's still hurt. It don't matter. You're out there. You're getting paid to be out there. go perform, and especially if you're close to the ball, make a play on the ball. So I saw
Mhm.
good things from that. And then here's the injury update on Jordan Whitehead suffering a season-ending pectoral injury, which was frustrating because he tackled high. It was almost like a play where he should have just made a business decision at
Mhm.
the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was upsetting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, we just get our starting secondary back in place and starting to get healthy, and then unfortunately unfortunately this happens. Injuries just continue to hit the secondary. I was laughing because of JC Allen here.
I know.
You're
I
going
know.
to have to give him the bag to stay. Talking about Liam Cohen, but yeah, I mean, Jordan obviously is a loss, but the good thing is you got Mike Edwards now. You have other people to step up. You have Christian Izzy, and hopefully Tyke Smith can come back this upcoming week. But yeah, that's the news. And then you talked about it earlier. I mean, here's the stats so far for this Buccaneers offense. Pretty impressive. Everything in the top 10. Fourth in scoring, seventh in total offense, 10th in rushing, which we talked about so many times over the offseason. It's like if the rushing offense can be top 20, the offense takes off. And right now they're top 10, seventh in passing. And then here's the big numbers right here: second on third down and second in the red zone. That means you're usually coming up with points once you get inside there. Usually it's a touchdown, and that's the big time. That shows like what you're doing out there.
I mean, it's top 10 in everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see. And then you see last year's rankings right there: 20th, 23rd, 32nd in rushing. Of course, our
Yeah.
rushing has been terrible for
Right.
years. 17th, 10th, and 30th in the red zone.
Right.
We went from 30th to second.
Yeah.
It's an astronomical increase. And it's not all just Mike Evans, clearly, because Mike has been out for a few games, right? So
Yeah.
it's just telling of how much more nuances and schematic differences that he's brought over. And again, even in this game, like using Rashad White, Bucky in short passing areas, the screen game, or just having Rashad White as a receiver looks like he's going to block and then he gets a screen. That's insane. Like
Mhm.
there's no cutesiness to it. It's just putting a player in a different position and then running the same play. Everyone knows what they have to do. It's just an alignment difference. And it's
Yeah.
it's cool to see in creative ways, but not like craziness of college football game, but it's just a little wrinkle where a defense has to think, why are they lined up like this?
Mhm.
And that gives us an advantage. It's just using guys that you have, which you've seen for half the season, how good they are at certain positions.
Yep.
And now we're just rinse and repeat because Bucky's pretty damn good.
Mhm.
Can make you miss clearly, and he's using that to his advantage. Or like with the play calls, like just get the ball in his hands quick. He's usually going to make that first man miss, so set your blocks up after it.
Mhm.
It's been working. It has been working.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big understatement is the Buccaneers have a very good, probably a great offensive line right now. They're playing outstanding football. We're gonna, obviously show that here in a few minutes, but the front line for the Buccaneers is just playing very consistent and outstanding. The way they are blocking, I think the ascension from Cody Mock and now Graham Barton, who looks like an all-pro center already. The way they're playing, and then you have Luke Gedeke, you got Justin School filling in for Tristan Wirfs and playing to a level where he's not a liability. And I think the credit goes to this, not just Liam Cohen, but his entire coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball is showing their ability, and kudos to, Kevin Carberry, Brian Bacucci. Like these guys they know their stuff, and getting these guys to respond. And we could even go back to the last time the Buccaneers won, where they beat the Saints and Robert Hainsey was the starting center. Looked like a completely different player. He looked, he wasn't out there getting beat. He was playing very solid. So I think that's a credit to this staff and how they're developing these guys, and they just continue to get better.
Another thing with the offensive line, Cohen helps that again based off of getting that ball out fast. Like a lot of
Right.
these plays were quick plays or play action bootlegs, or it was Baker Reed if it's not their run. So a lot of this was helping schematically, but I mean, even like I was saying earlier, Rashad White looking like he's going to block, and then he gets the ball. So they were running a lot of plays that were advantageous for us and the offensive line. And then, not to mention, we mentioned earlier, we're running the ball efficiently and well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how many pressures did they get in this game? I think it was like 6, you said. 6 in the entirety of the game.
Yeah, 6 overall total, which is really good from a pass protection standpoint. And, running the ball wasn't as efficient as we would have liked, but again, they did enough in the run game where they got those explosive plays. And obviously that helped the numbers from a, run success standpoint. It wasn't great. You would like to see the average a little bit higher, but the way they're just utilizing these guys, like you said, getting the ball in their hands, whether it's screens or short dump offs, finding ways to stretch out the defense, make them come up and make tackles, I think is very important. And that has been awesome to see. So, with that said, let's get into the Buccaneers offense versus the Giants defense. We'll bring this here on the screen. And this was just a great game by the Buccaneers offense, really clean and consistent, and they did a good job. We're going to go through the touchdowns here. Here's one of them by Bucky Irving.
Too easy.
Just great offensive line push and how they move these guys out, double team on Dexter Lawrence there, and basically it's parting of the seas for Bucky Irving.
Yeah, didn't get touched till he crossed the line. So that was great blocking, great setup, everything good. Here's the first touchdown here. Sean Tucker taking it goal line situation. I mean, I want you to touch on first, big number 50s on the field. You got to love seeing that. And then Robert Hainsey, I saw Krillin in the chat saying his stanky leg. Watch stanky leg get after it here. Get his man out of the way and in the ground and stay down. Loved it. What'd you see? And also Cody Mock pulling over here.
Yeah, this is one of the wrinkles they brought out of the bye week, and this is just really cool to see that Vita Vea involved on the offense, and then obviously going with a jumbo offensive line set with Robert Hainsey as the tight end there, does a good job of clearing everything out, and Vita doesn't really have to block anybody, so it worked out. And then here is the Baker Mayfield touchdown run, just so savvy and creative, and it scares me when he jumped up like this. I was like, oh no, Baker's gonna die. But this was just a great playmaking ability by Baker, and still great offensive line blocking, even though I think Bredesen's on the ground there. But other than that, I mean, just really overall awareness, and then his pump fakes and finding ways to get into the end zone there.
The celebration was amazing. Hey, I was just kind of highlighting. It was a good read too, because look, double coverage on Mike Evans, double here on McMillan. Really, this is just sun's in the guy's face. I'm not going to force anything. It's in the red zone. Take care of the damn ball. Cody Mock. Cade Otton, tight end 1. Looks like he's getting open late, but still, this guy could have come down quick. Be safe with the ball. Be dangerous with your body, I guess. And did a touchdown. I loved it. Loved the celebration afterwards. But we keep going on. Another touchdown. What happened here?
Yeah, again, this is just a nice play. They use Mike Evans here as the guy in motion, so that's going to draw attention right away. And then getting Rachaad White out in space, like we talked about, using his strengths, which is really cool to see. And then the offense line, tight end 1 with a great block, and then Luke Gedeke out in front seals his man, and that's really too easy for Rachaad on the touchdown.
Easy pickings, guys, especially when you have guys that can move it. Here's what I was talking about. Look at this alignment. Look where Rachaad White's at. Look at the 3 trips on the outside. You have a 4 bunch here. So, I mean, defensively, you're like, what the hell's going on? And they're still somewhat in like a zone package over here because they're like, I don't know what's going on to stay safe. This guy actually reads it well. He's like, oh, the running back's there. I got to go after the running back. Just Rachaad White makes a man miss. And like I was saying, guys getting their blocks out, because if he makes this one man miss, something's good going to happen. Get it to him, get him in space, and look at this. Get upfield. Quick. I love the play call, love the execution. Even better by Rachaad White performing once he gets the ball.
Right, absolutely. This is what you want from your offense. Again, finding ways to get playmakers to football, and that's what you're doing. You're setting this up with the alignment like you talked about, and then here again, similar concept where you have a bunch formation, and now you're getting Bucky Irving out in space to set him up for a potential big play, and just the creativity that Bucky has shown. This is why you want to get him the football as much as possible, especially with this ability to make this guy miss, and then his ability to just stop on dimes and cut back across the grain. It's really impressive to see.
It's we're almost getting accustomed to seeing it. It's like we know he's gonna make the first one and miss, but it's like this is college football stuff. How he finds open alleys and just keeps going. This one kind of scared me because I thought this guy was gonna knock this thing out. He almost just falls because he's like, "Oh crap, let me not get rid of it again." But like how you go from sideline to sideline and just extending plays like that, that's a special type of player, and we got him in the fourth round.
Right, absolutely, and that's why Jason Light is one of the best GMs in football. And again, just finding ways to get him out in space, another screenplay, just really good concept, and getting using your athletic offensive line too as well to get on, out and open, set things up for Bucky, and just well executed play. You get a nice 8-yard gain out of this.
Yeah, and it's never good for a linebacker to face a center, especially an athletic center like Barton. So, I mean, watch Barton on this play. Look where he's at. He's going to come full steam. Same with Gedeke to push this pile. Look, you think he's down to 5. No, he stays up, balanced. Here comes Barton to slam. Let's get a touchdown. I love the effort on this, and he's only going to continue to get better. I mean, this guy has demeanor. He has athleticism. He's just a good package all around. I mean, I love him. And here's another big play by Bucky. Plus, what happened here?
Yeah, this is just Bucky being super explosive, and his ability to make things happen. And you got to love the effort by Baker Mayfield, just running up and trying to be a blocker. Probably should have just got out of the way, but it looks like he slowed down Bucky a little bit there. But just awesome play, great concept of getting again a playmaker the ball and finding ways to get more yards. And then Baker really had a great game, I thought, of making throws outside of the pocket, really improvising and being creative, but then also the accuracy. That's something we talked about has been a struggle, and here it wasn't, with a great play to Durham, and then go back to another great tight end and Kate Otten. Awesome play design as well.
And what did you talk about earlier? I mean, we got to get some clear out routes to hit your guys. This is like a staple of the Buccaneers for like the past couple of years. Just give me a clear out route. Palmer, he's got the speed. And if it's pushing that far up, there's no one underneath that's dragging with him. That's nothing but space, right? So we're trying to throw to space, safe throws. Look at that. Good conversion, quick read, not holding it too long. It's like once he hit his back foot on the drop, he's getting rid of the ball. Sometimes he holds it and does this little shimmy up. I don't like that. He's been hitting very efficiently in this game, and it showed. I mean, it's 24 of 30 for almost 300 yards. It was a really pretty game, and then this is just another awesome timed ball. I think the ball before this was one where he threw it was inaccurate. Watch the accuracy in this damn ball. Like, look at the space. We're looking for the end zone, or not end zone, sideline for our safety net. Perfect pass right there to Palmer. I mean, what'd you like with that one?
Yeah, again, just really good timing, like you discussed. Great pass protection as well. Offensive line doing their job, and like you said, once he hits that back step, he is firing this with great accuracy and precision. And again, here, just this is now we're getting into Mike Evans, and this is what he allows you to do. Again, when you get these one-on-ones, his ability to create and drive, space for himself, like you miss that from the offense when he's not out there, because he can just be an easy completion for your quarterback, and that helps your offense operate. And then here, great pass protection, just dominating up front, and then finding Mike Evans on the rollout. Really good offensive day from the Buccaneers as a whole.
And I've said this in years, like last year when we got Baker Mayfield, he's almost better when he's outside the pocket and moving in space. Like,
right.
I think that's why most teams, when he was with the Browns, forced him to be in the actual pocket, beat him from there. Because once he gets out, That's where he does the most damage, and his accuracy goes up somehow, some way. But I mean, Baker Mayfield, I think is another thing I said to you. Brady had his way with things where he'd get mad, get in your face in the sideline, or he'd even talk trash with the other team. And it wasn't as animated as Baker is, but he was consistent with it.
Yeah.
I think Baker needs to stay consistently high or just animated. Something where even if it's a simple run or simple pass, he gets animated. Because there's times where he's like Ghost Baker and he's kind of looking around or just looking down. I'm like, you're showing that to the rest of your team. But when you're up, yeah, the whole rest of the team's with you too. So I want to see a little bit more consistent Baker of just that drive to win. I mean, Brady's, you may say Baker's a little bit more emotional, but no, I just see it as more as competitive fire. It's not necessarily emotion on the field. It's more him just
Right.
wanting to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it very well. Yeah, yesterday when we were talking through the game, he's got to bring that emotion and fire, passion throughout the game. Lift up his teammates, and I think just continue to bring that energy. I thought Liam Cohen did a better job yesterday of getting that tempo going, going more, faster at the pace, quicker snaps, changing the tempo when they needed to. So I thought that was good to keep the rhythm in place. And I think that's the biggest thing for Baker. He's a rhythm quarterback. So when he can find that rhythm early and often, that's going to help the offense be more efficient and effective. So yeah, really good day for the offense. Hope you guys enjoyed that little film session there. And we'll get to the defense here in a little bit, bring that up. But overall, a good win. The Buccaneers now move to 5-6. They are one game behind the Atlanta Falcons for the division lead, believe it or not. So next week, the Buccaneers will go to Carolina to face the Panthers, and the Falcons will face the Los Angeles Chargers, who are playing tonight against the Baltimore Ravens. So that should be an interesting game to watch. But yeah, the Buccaneers just got to keep taking care of business. I think that's going to be the main thing. And they have a great opportunity to put some wins together. As the Raiders, I think, are up after Carolina. They just suffered a quarterback injury, no Gardner Minshew. So they're changing quarterbacks. Now with the Panthers, I know a lot of people are saying this is going to be a challenge, but I mean, again, they're a team that has struggled as far as overall consistency. Bryce Young is playing better. But before we get into that, let's go into the Buccaneers defense and what they did well. And this is going to be the Bucs defense versus the Giants offense. Giants offense has struggled all year, but the Buccaneers defense has they did a really good job yesterday of just keeping things simple and doing the right things as far as tackling, finding ways to get pressure on the quarterback. But you look at this formation and setup, I just like how they have their dime package in, and they're bringing both safeties off the edge with Isian coming off the slot and then Winfield coming from the other side. And you also move Kalijah Cansey to play against the tackle. And you just have everything bottled up. So your structure of your defense is overall much better, and you're combining your blitz with coverage. And that just hasn't been the case over the last several weeks before yesterday. And they did a much better job with it in this one.
This was almost non-existent.
Yeah.
The whole entire year. I mean, maybe it's little spurts, but then he gets away from it. Maybe to hide insufficiencies or liabilities or on the defense, but this plays into what you've been saying for week after week. You got to choose your identity, and it's usually being aggressive. I don't know what the hell happened. It's like he forgot how to be aggressive defensive coach. You're bringing Izzy in, you're bringing Winfield, like you said, off the edges. Like I was saying earlier, Kalijah Cansey playing wide, moving him around against different matchups. Look at this. Look at the exposure, the pressure, and then we're going to live and die by this pressure. Mike Edwards, you've been known to be a ball hawking safety. just cover space, and that they use it to their advantage. I mean, it's good defense all around. Live and die by it. It's going to have to be a short pass, or he's going to have to Hail Mary this thing, and you have an opportunity to get the hand on a ball. And like you say, like, oh, teams are always going to run it, aren't going to run, they're just going to pass. But the thing is, if you're throwing the ball, it's more likely a tip ball, botch snap, an error somewhere along the lines, as opposed to just handing the ball off. And look at the pressure that's going to be generated here. Look at all the Buccaneers on the line that you have to count for. And these offensive linemen have to think, okay, who the hell's coming? And then you bring in two safeties. Elijah Cansey has to beat a tackle easily. That's cool stuff. He's not normally seeing him that wide. So again, uncharacteristic stuff from Bowles that is normally characteristic of him. So good to see. And the Vita Vea just dominating. Plus, go ahead. What the hell does this man do?
Yeah, so on the first sack, you win with speed, and then now you're going to win with pure power. And this is what Vita Vea does. He just destroys humans and finds a way to get to the quarterback as he destroys the Giants center and walks him back. So this is what, again, they bring another blitz off the edge with Izian, but you have options, covered up. But again, by the time he drops back, he's already on the ground. And that helps. And I showed this play again, just showing the overall structure of the defense. You look how everything is going to be taken away, or there's at least guys in position within your coverage. So you do a good job. I mean, Zion, he probably could have pressed this a little bit more, and you would like to see Mike Edwards stay back with that corner route over the top. But you understand what your defensive call is. So you're bringing a blitz. This quarterback has to get rid of the ball quickly. So you're setting this up for a tackle. And obviously that set up the 4th and 1. They didn't get the 4th down, and it's Buccaneers ball. But this all starts with just overall good structure, guys being in the right position.
Yeah, and it's like you just said, the marriage of knowing what's being called in front of you so you can play aggressive as a secondary player. So Edwards is playing aggressive. He knows, holy shit, Christian Izian's going in, Winfield's going in yet again. So I'm going to have to make a play quick. So if this ball's coming out fast, I know it's going to have to be here. If he throws it to the sideline, either way, I have to run to that sideline. He's looking that way. So I think he played it well. McCollum, yes, needs to play a little bit closer to the sticks. I mean, look where the first down marker is. Why are you playing that far back? Especially when you know everyone else is blitzing. So, but either way, he prevented him from getting a first down. Read, react, click, close was good. He used his athleticism to his superior advantage on that one. But here we go again, more pressure, making the guy roll out. Good pressure or good coverage in the secondary. So look at the levels right here. They saw the line of gain. Look how many Buccaneer players are on that line of gain. I love to see that. Plus, what'd you see?
Yeah, again, this is another situation where you're just playing smart football. They go to their dime package here where they have Winfield as the middle, and he's dropping back to the deep third. You have your other safeties in Whitehead and Edwards, playing the sticks, and you have your other corners playing, the first down markers. So again, just playing better structure, understanding what you're trying to do. Basically, the Bucs defense, they're trying to funnel this football to the flats. They're giving up those flats, and they're going to come up and wrap up and tackle. This is something that we just haven't seen consistently enough, where there's actual purpose from the Bucs defense as far as what you want to do to make the offense go to what you want. And that just hasn't been happening. And you see it in this play. I know it's third and forever, but still, this is how you got to play defense. And this is how you can be more consistent moving forward.
Absolutely. I agree. And it's something we've always said in the years past. Bucs defense usually just gives up the flats, or it's that level between the linebackers and safety. It's usually their main weakness.
Yeah.
We've been playing such soft defense, or just covering for players that they think can't play in it because they're not 7 years in it, I guess, as you've tend to say.
Yeah.
But get back to your identity. Yes, we lose Jordan Whitehead, so it does suck for that. So another experienced player in the scheme. But Mike Edwards, clearly in limited time now, he's going to have to jump into a starter position, likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I think is
so good.
Yeah. I would say Izian probably takes over for Jordan Whitehead. You probably keep Mike Edwards as your rotational piece. I'm sure, again, Mike is going to be that obvious third down situational type player where he's in on passing situations. But Izzy most likely is going to be your box player where he can come up and still play that role that he played yesterday and did a very good job at. Tyke Smith's going to be the big one. We need him back because his run defense and his ability around the line of scrimmage has obviously been very important. But to extend on that point I was talking about towards the end there, the defense you saw in those few plays that we showed, and there was a lot more that I could have brought in, but overall tackling was much better. They only missed 3 tackles yesterday. Now, granted, this was a very bad offense that we were facing. They are not a good football team right now. They just made a quarterback change. Very dysfunctional team. They're 2-9. They have the number 1 pick in the draft right now. So this is what should have taken place, and the Buccaneers made sure it wasn't going to be close, and it wasn't. But overall structure was much improved, and that's what we're looking for moving forward. And with that said, I'm going to bring this back up. This is the Panthers defense that the Buccaneers offense is going up against next week. They have another chance to put up 30 points, and I think they should be able to accomplish that for sure. So
I don't know if you heard what I put, but
I don't know, what was that?
There you go.
They're crap.
Yeah.
Crap. Mega crap.
Yep. So you see a lot of 30s in there.
Yeah.
It's usually a good sign for your offense. And you saw what we showed earlier, how our offense looks.
Yeah.
Don't let us down. I mean, and that's something we're going to have to do. Like, the Bucs are going to have to rely on their offense. I mean, Evans is back. Don't forcefully make him get hurt again.
Right.
You know, you have a running game you can lean on. You know, you have a quick pass game you can lean on. You have a tight end that's a very viable option. Use everything to your advantage. And whenever they're going to give it up, keep going. Yep. And Liam Cohen has clearly shown he can draw it up very, very well from the get-go. I don't know how many opening drive touchdowns we've had this year now. It looks like it should be a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
From years past, we couldn't do it at all.
Yeah.
Hell, we couldn't even score in the first quarter, let alone first drive. So great job for our offense. And yeah, let's just keep it going. He's making his resume, like as JC said earlier, that he's going to get paid by someone.
Mm.
Yeah, he's most likely by the Bucs, but let's see how these next 6 games go. But I mean, overall, he's a damn good coach. He knows how to draw it up for every player, not just one. And we have a running game, guys. When was the last time we could say that? Mike Allstott and work done. Not that far.
No, it's a very balanced attack, and you look at you talked about the first drive, and I think this is what Buccaneers are going to try to incorporate throughout the rest of the season, and that's ball control. You know, what's the best weapon for your struggling defense? Keep them off the field, and that's what you have to do. They started the game with 14 plays, 70 yards. They took 8 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. That is what you want to do for a team that obviously has struggled to stop, opposing offenses. But not only that, you put them up 7-0 to start the game. It allows the aggression to drive up. And this was just a great drive. Again, runs, screens, big plays. That was, just great offense overall. And it started the game in the right way. So, yeah, really impressive. Now, again, you got to do it 2 weeks in a row and try to build this winning streak. And like I mentioned, Carolina, yeah, they've played better. Yes, we're going up against Dave Canales, who's, like JC said earlier, he's going to have tricks up his sleeves, I'm sure. But still, this is a team you should be able to put up points. Got to put up 30, I would say. We should be able to put up 30. And it should lead to another win. Like, you should be able to control the game like you did yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we have some defensive juggernaut based off of what we've seen. But it's just, again, look what's on the other side of the field. Coaching helps a lot. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have that many horses to use. And he's going to consistently try and run the ball.
Yeah.
If we can stop the run first and put it all on Bryce Young, I like our chances. But still, it's execution comes first. We got to be able to stop that run because Hubbard's going to get a nice helping. He's going to use those 2 guards he'd like to give money to.
Mhm.
But on the outside, they don't have anyone that scares you. I mean,
Right.
you said David Moore was their number 1 receiver last week.
Yeah. Yeah. David Moore. They have Xavier Leggett from South Carolina, and then Adam Thielen. So again, not many options there. Like you said, the number 1 option to stop first is going to be Hubbard, the running back. They got to stop the run. Obviously, Jonathan Brooks probably get a couple more snaps with him being back. But yeah, that's going to be the main thing. Defensively, just continue to play solid structure and tackling. That's going to be the main importance. And then offensively, again, you should be able to control the ball, play smart, and get points. Protect the football. You can't have turnovers like you did yesterday with the fumble with Rashad White. That has to be cleaned up. We can't have that, especially just giving the ball away on simple handoffs. So the execution there, they can fix that. But overall, should be an offense where you can keep attacking like you did. And just, I want to give a big shout out to just the whole running back room and getting that involved, like talking about getting the ball to Sean Tucker and Rashad White, Bucky Irving. Like that was a really good adjustment by Liam Cohen.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we said. Like, use your weapons. That is that running back room. They're just so diverse, especially with the injuries that you had with the wide receivers. Well, then don't force it, right? Like Bucky and Rashad White both can catch the ball very easily. And then Sean Tucker was the NFC Player of the Week once, and then you just put him in the doghouse. I don't know what the hell happened there. Love the faith in Tucker even after the fumble. Yeah, I mean he got sat down for a little bit though. I noticed that, but I mean, not being shy to give him the ball back again because I guarantee he was pissed off, and he knows the type of player he can be. But you're going to get limited reps with the amount of guys that are good in that room. So, I mean, either way, let's keep it rolling. And coaches have to think about who's in the backfield. Are they going to throw it to this guy? And then if you have to think about that, you're going to have Mike Evans over the top of you. So it's how huge what Mike Evans can do, and then the exposure that you're giving these running backs only helps our offense even more. So, right. I mean, think about it. We got every level right now. Mike Evans, Kate Otten in the middle, and then you have Bucky, Rashad White, Sean Tucker. They can all catch a ball and make something happen after it. So Cohen knows what he has. He needs to keep using it. Still, it's going to be on the defense. Like, can they stop a nosebleed kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. I think and I talked about it yesterday after the game. I was like, put it up. We discussed it last week going into this stretch. Like, if the Bucs offense can average 24 points per game, we should win at least 6 out of the last 7. So far, 1-0. We put up 30. We should probably put up another 30 points in this one to get to 2-0 on this stretch. And also just think about that for a second. I think the Buccaneers, I'm going to pull up their schedule, how many times the Bucs have scored 30 points this year. Pretty impressive, the amount of times, and they probably are going to exceed that with the upcoming opponents that are to follow the Panthers. So let's see if I can get this up here real quick. But yeah, just looking at the point totals. So obviously week 2 and 3 kind of had a down as far as offensive totals, but 37 to start the year. Then you have 33, 30, 51, 31, 26, and then 24, 20. So a little downspurt. But again, this is all without Mike Evans. You get Mike Evans back. Now you have 30 points. So just yeah, and Chris Godwin. So just overall consistency of the offense. So how many 30-point games is that? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 6 on the year. Probably going to get a few more, I'm expecting, with the defenses that are upcoming. So pretty impressive to say the least. I don't know how many 30-point games we had during that 2021 season, the year after the Super Bowl win. But I know we were cooking on offense that year. Brady was he was just out of this world that season. But yeah, I mean, really cool to see, and hopefully, like you said, they're going to have to lead the way.
Yeah. I mean, pull that back up.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind. We're the only team to beat the Lions.
Yeah.
And we're one of 2 teams to beat the Eagles.
Yep.
This deep in the season. So, I mean, yeah, Servassier Dennis was still healthy then. That's a big reason why we beat the Lions. He had a massive game. That I think he had 10 tackles. Like a lot of it was like timely tackles too, and preventing first downs. And then the Eagles, we beat them handedly. Yes, they didn't have the receivers, but still, like it was an dominating victory we had over them, like 33-16, and it was not even that close.
Yeah.
But I mean, shut down Saquon. Saquon has devoured every defense he faced. But I mean, overall, like, just get your head right on defense. Just get it on a little bit, because your offense is going to move the ball. Baker, don't limit your interceptions. Stay motivated throughout the entirety of the game, and we'll be fine. I mean, but then again, it's the scary stretch of just bad opponents.
Yeah.
Is this a good team, or is it just this is what you had in front of you? So, and that's your little thing of this is probably what's going to save Todd Bowles' job yet again, and saves his job. What the hell happens to Liam Cohen, right?
Yeah, I mean, that will be a fun show when we get to that point. Obviously, we still have a long way to go, but right now, I think the positives, the main takeaways you can pull from yesterday is, one, offensively, they were in control. They understood where to get the football to. They had purpose. And then for the first time, and I know this was a bad offense you're facing, but the Buccaneers defense had a purpose as well. I just saw the structure, the overall tackling, the fundamentals were there. I think the positives, like we discussed in previous weeks, they isolated Elijah Cansey more, like you said, move him around, get him one-on-one matchups to penetrate and get disruption, which he did. So that's great. 2, we saw more dime package on third down, which is awesome. Maximize your coverage in the back end, mix it up with different looks to create pressure, which was great to see. And then lastly, just overall tackling, like not allowing the Giants to get huge plays. Yeah, they had a couple, a few explosives, but again, they only had 3, I think, for the entire game. The Buccaneers had 6. Usually when you win that battle, usually good things happen and you win the game. So that was a start. It's a start for this team. Now we got to see it more consistently this week. This will be a good test for the Bucs defense, just because I think, like, even though we said the Panthers don't have much to work with offensively, this is a much better scheme that you're going to go against. It's a familiar scheme that we know, or at least we should know. I know Canales probably says he knows us as well, but this is where you should be able to put your foot down and show a little bit more consistency going forward.
And I agree. I mean, yes, it's both know each other a little bit, but what team has more talent on it as of now, and where can you take advantage of the most weaknesses? And I think with the talent we have on our offense, we can take advantage of a lot more defensive weaknesses than the vice versa. I don't think that Canales can scheme some things up, no doubt.
Yeah.
But is his talent that much better than what we have in our defense is the thing. I just don't think it is. And I think if we get an early lead, that's what it is. It's not, they're not going to be able to have the horses to come back, because they're going to try and run and keep balanced again, because you can't put that much on Bryce Young still. Yeah. I don't think. And if they do, great for them. I just don't think it's going to be a good result if they keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Young did play well. He probably had his best game yesterday against the Chiefs. Chiefs defense has been struggling. We talked about this off air yesterday. Yeah, their secondary has had a lot of issues this season. And, the Panthers found ways. I mean, he made some really incredible throws. There was a lot of dimes that he was throwing out there and making plays. They were down, I think, 20. It was 20-9 at one point. It ended up being 27.
30.
I think it was 27-19 at one point. And then obviously they tied it up at 27, and then the last minute field goal by the Chiefs. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, Panthers they're fighting. They believe in their coach. They're fighting for him. So I think effort wise has to match their intensity. And you're on the road. It's a 4:00 game. It's going to be pretty cold. It's going to be under 50 degrees. So just got to be prepared. But I think the main thing we have to look for is just overall structure from the defense, and then offensively finding ways to continue to be consistent and put up points.
Yeah, and we've said it already before. Like the
Yeah.
offense can have to lead us.
Yeah.
Defense, just come up with timely stops. Right, bend but don't break. If you want to give up your 3, don't give up 7.
Yeah.
And you're you have to find a way to get turnovers. I mean,
Mhm.
like that is the Todd Bowles defense. Like let's get turnovers. We're going to allow yards. That's just what we're going to do because we're aggressive. He was aggressive this game, allowed some chunk yards, but the turnovers were there. I mean, the Levante David knocking it out at the goal line, that was there. I mean, there were options for interceptions as well. But I mean, sometimes it's an old adage kind of quote. They come in bunches. You never know, right? And that seems to be something that Todd Bowles defenses do. Mike Edwards is a big one to do it. He usually gets multiple interceptions in games too. So let's see what happens with that defense. Let's just be aggressive. Because your offense is ultra aggressive and moving the ball and finding ways to do it. You're moving around your best defensive players. Let's keep doing that because clearly that's working too, and you're being aggressive. Doesn't matter the quarterback. Stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. So, yeah, I mean, this team, they have it there in front of them. We'll see if they can, keep this going, play smart football. Obviously the Panthers are going to they're going to come with a lot of effort, and they're going to play hard and, try to be spoiler. But I think the Buccaneers just have to come out. Baker Mayfield, bring that intensity throughout the game like we were discussing. So, with that said, I think we're going to wrap things up. Hope you guys enjoyed the film studies we brought to you guys earlier. Again, we'll probably put those out in separate videos so you guys can watch those on your own time if you want to rewatch them. Be sure to hit that like button, comment below on your thoughts of the game. Let us know what you guys think for the rest of the season. How do you think this season's going to play out? We'd love to hear from you all. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got. And yeah, go Bucs. We are 5-6. We are rolling now. We are back. Yeah. Yep. We are back. So, all right. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. So everyone have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Let the